Hi and welcome to yet another Facemaker video tutorial. I am Nuno and today we'll be creating a watch face for the Huawei Watch Fit 3. So, the Fit 3, this video was due for a long time, but well, because Fit 3 has been around for for quite a while, so I think I should have done a Fit 3 video a long time ago, but yeah, life got in the way, and in the meanwhile I have been improving the Garmin implementation and also developing Wear OS. So yes, I didn't have much time lately, but today we're going to finally create a Fit 3 watch face. Okay, so this is the watch face that we'll be creating. Okay, everyone knows this. This is shamelessly copied from an Apple watch face, that original watch face from Apple, and I think it fits very well on the Fit 3 screen, on the Fit 3 display. So we're going to use this, okay? And this is a snapshot from a watch face I've built some time ago, which is available, by the way, on the Facemaker web archive. And if you go into the Fit 3 section right here, you'll notice that you have this watch face here, okay? So that image you see here was directly exported from the Facemaker watch face that you have available on the web archive. Just keep in mind that the web archive is only available to sponsors with a pro version, okay? So here we are going to start this sucker. And now I have clicked new, and we should start naming our watch face. So let's go into the face info and let's insert the name for this watch face, which will be called Apple Fit 3. There we go. And you need nothing else, at least for now. You can have descriptions later, but right now we'll focus on starting this. So usually, as you know, I import a reference image, and we're going to import this Apple Fit 3 snapshot here. So I'm just going to drag and drop the image here, and there we go, it's imported, and now we can start building. Okay, so this is the reference. Let's rename that and press Ctrl S and save. Now I'm going to save this on the desktop, and there we go. Okay, so let's start by building this background, this whitish background. So I'm going to add an image, and remember, all generated images come from the image widget. And here you can press generate, and you can create a lot of graphics for your watch face. So let me show you. This is the polygon, and you can give it any size you want. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can rotate it and make it, the way you want it. Right now, I'm gonna just create a rectangle, reset the rotation, put this on the top left, and then just increasing the size. So 408 by 480. To match the display dimensions here. And now we need to match the color. So I'm going to hide this widget for now. I have just hidden it. I haven't deleted it or something like that. It's still selected, as you can see here, okay? And now I'm going to unhide the reference image. And here, I'm going to pick this color right here. So let's select the color picker right there and set this color, and then I'm going to switch to the watch face gradients palette right here, and I'm going to save this color. And remember, anything you save on this palette will be saved with the watch face. So if I press now Ctrl S and then I reload this watch face we're building. And here I press generate. If I go into the palette, you'll see that we still have this color we saved. So this is great if you want to keep your theme color associated with your watch face. In this palette here, if you save them here, they will be loaded next time you load the watch face, okay? So, okay, let's proceed. This is done. This is the background image. And now we can proceed and start building other elements. Okay, I think we can create this dial here, this orange dial. So let's do that. Here, again, we'll add an image and press generate. And remember, I told you that you can use the image widget to create a multitude of graphics. This is the polygon, but we can create dials. And there we go. Now, usually, the dial image or kind of image, if you have a rectangular screen, the default dial will be rectangular, but you can switch to round. And there we go. Now, we don't need the digits, at least for now. I'm going to hide them, and here I will show the hours. And as far as I can see, I think this has 60 hour marks. So let's increase the number here to 60. There we go. And now let's try and place this right there and increase the radius or diameter until we have more or less the same height. And there we go. Now we'll try and center it just like that. And now let me see here. This is not matching perfectly. Perhaps, oh, it's not centered. Okay. There you go. Now it's centered. You can see that it's centered. If you look at those yellow lines, the vertical and the horizontal lines there, it means that it's aligned or centered according to the other images on the screen. And we only have these two, which are full screen. So if you get something like that, it means it's centered, okay? Now let's set the width of the lines right there. Let's increase the radius perhaps to 3. And yes, now let's take care of these smaller ones. So we need them to be bigger. So there we go. And now we need to set the color. And we can copy it from here or here. So let's do that. Here, I am going to pick this color, and then I'm going to save it on the watch face colors. And remember, the other color picker was the gradient picker. This is the color. So this is pure color, okay? It's not a mix between two or more colors. And that's why you have two palettes on Facemaker. And here I can see that these marks here are a little thick. I think I'll make them thinner. Yeah, I'll go with 2. And here all we have to do is select the same color and we're done. Now let me just show this background color. And there we go. Now this is done. We can now continue and let's create other elements. So here we also have these numbers here. So I'm going to have them. And again, maybe we'll just clone this widget, the dial. There we go. And press generate. Now here, I am going to change this to 12. Or you can simply select this template, the hours 12. There we go. Now let's turn off the hours and minutes and enable the digits. And immediately you see that this is exactly what we needed. I'm going to change the color to black. So like that and like that. Save it on the watch face gradients. And now we'll try to find a good font for this. But since this is overlaid on top of the others of the reference image, I am going to push them slightly onto the center. Right there, so we can compare better. So here I am going to select the first font, and then we can use the arrow key, the arrow down key, to switch between all the fonts in the list. So this is easier to just, preview. And we'll try to find a similar font. I don't think we have the same font installed. And yes, if you take a look at the 0, it's not the same, but I think this font will fit. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, all right? So Argentum sans medium. Let's continue. And yes, as I suspected, I don't think we have exactly that same font. So I'm going to go with Argentum, maybe. And we should be almost at the end, I guess. And yes, we're back to the first font. So I'll go with Argentum. And there we go. This will be our font. And now I'll need to make it smaller. So something like that. And now we need it to rotate around the watch face. But you'll notice that from the 90 degrees to up to the 270, it inverts, okay? So if I make them rotate around the watch face, this is what you get, okay? And the numbers here are upside down. We need to invert them between the 90 and the 270 degrees. So for that, we click this number here, or this input field, and there we go. Now it's correct. We can simply push them outwards. So, and there we go. And yes, this will work, I guess. Let me just unhide everything else. And I think it looks good. So I'll go with it. And yes, this is finished. We can now proceed to the next image. And the next one will be this orange circle you see here. So for that, I'm going to add, you guessed right, an image. And here I'm going to press generate. And now we need to make this square a circle. And to do that, all you need to do is give it enough sides right here. So I'm going with 100. And there we go. We have a circle, as you can see here. And now we need to increase the radius. So I'm going to put it there and increase the height. Until it's more or less, now let me see here, it's centered. Okay, so 302, and let's go with the same number for the width. And now just center, and there we go, we're done. But this needs to be that orange color. So now I'm going to apply an effect, the fill color. And there we go. And we have this same color saved on the watch face colors, and just click it. And now we can bring it back. And there we go. We have the circle. We need it. And now we need another one, the black one, this one here. And for that, I'm just going to simply clone this widget, the orange one. And there we go. Now I'm going to hide it for now. Or rather, I can't. I have to resize it, so I need to see it. Unlock it, and then we can simply, resize it until we have a satisfactory result. Something like this. And there we go. And this is orange, I know, but I will apply first the modification we made, the scaling, and then I will remove this fill color. And now we can simply, oh, I think I applied it, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did. So I'm gonna reapply the fill color effect and change this to black. And perhaps save it on the watch face colors palette. And now you can see that, yeah, this will work. And this is what we needed. So we can proceed. Hide everything, bring back the reference. And by the way, keep saving your projects while you go, because something bad can happen. And if you don't save, you lose your work. Okay, so now this dial, this inner dial, let's take care of it. Gonna add an image. Here I press generate, switch the dial, and we'll be using only the marks, not the numbers. So here I enable hours, make it round. There we go. And now we'll try to place it right there, I think. Now let me see here. Right there. Okay, now let's take care of the width and height. So increase the radius, something like that. And we should now have a perfect result, which I am going to center first. Oh, but this looks like it has, let me see here. Oh, it's 31. Let's change it to hours 12. And yeah, and now we need to make it the same width. So 266, and there we go. Now this is done, and we can simply enable the minutes too. And well, it's not perfect because this watch face, this specific watch face, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 marks between the hours, which is not correct, I think. It should have 5 or 10. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it as is. But first we need to tweak the length of these marks here. So let's increase it. There we go. And perhaps this one too. And let's see what we have here. And I believe this will work. So just testing some settings here. And I believe I like this one better. So let me see here. Oh, these are gray. Okay, now let's try and do that. Here, let's go back to 2. Here we just change the color to something grayish or darker. There we go. Now let's save it on the watch face colors palette, and we're done. We can continue, hide everything. Let's go back into the reference image. And now we need this circle here, perhaps this gray circle. So I'm gonna add an image, press generate, give it enough size so it becomes a circle. So let's say 100, or even increase it like this. Okay, and now we can simply resize it. And the size seems good, so I am going to apply and then apply a fill color effect. And just pick that color right there, add it to the favorites, and there we go. And now we can simply put it here. And by making sure that this is absolutely centered, and it looks like it is. So I'm just not sure about the size. It seems to be a little bit wider. So I am going to resize it again and center it. And yes, now I think we have a good result. Okay, let's just push it a little bit towards the top. And I'm going to lock it because that border sometimes gets in the way and you can see what you're doing. So right there and right there. Okay, now this circle down here, let me just see, it's a simple circle. We need a placeholder and the circle will represent the steps. So let's do that. Okay, so here, to add data to your watch face, you need the widget container, this one here. The background is just for static images, or you can also add animations. But for data, to have steps or heart rate or whatever, you need the widget main container, and then inside you add a container. And here you must set the data type. So remember to set the data type here on the right. And here we will set it to steps, okay? And remember, this is just a container. It doesn't do anything except working as a shortcut also. And you can watch the how to use watch face containers video on my channel to learn all about it. Okay, so here we're gonna lock it, and now I'm going to add a circle. There we go. And this is the circle widget, and this is going to be easy. We just select steps, press generate, and Facemaker will create a circle for you. And now we need to tweak. Okay, so first we need that orange color. We didn't have it on the gradient, so I'm fixing it now. And this is done. And now we can simply close this and work with the radius right there and try to match. And by the way, I think I'm just going to check this width. So this is 87 by 87. Let's press generate again, and you can see we didn't lose our settings here. And right now this is 97 by 97. We need it to be smaller. So let's go with the 3 pixels wide. And by the way, I'm just going to turn off the visual aid. There we go. And now let's work with the radius until we get 87. There we go. Now this should be perfect and match this circle we have here, because you know it's important to always try to match the same width and height. It will look much better in the end. Okay, so if I press preview now, you'll notice that this gets to 0 and disappears. And this is not, this is not how it should be done. You should always have a placeholder behind your line widgets or circle widgets, because that will show where the circle will go, okay? Otherwise, when it gets to 0, nothing. And this is not good practice. So I am going to stop the preview, and I'm going to use this image to create the placeholder on the background. And for that, I'm just going to hover this image preview here and press Ctrl C. And now this image is copied into the clipboard. And now here on the background container, I simply add an image, and over this image preview here, I press Ctrl V. And we have now a static representation of that circle there, okay? The problem is that this is the same color, and this wouldn't be much of a placeholder because it will always be filled. So now we need to apply, to make it darker, or apply a opacity effect. I'm going with the opacity because it's so much easier. And here I am going to lower the opacity. And there we go. Now you see what we're doing, right? So this is a placeholder for where the circle will grow, okay? So this represents the circle when you have 0. And we might even go with a darker value, something like, I don't know, let's go 25, and just lock the layers. And now press preview. Now you see this is much better now, because when it's 0, you know that there's a circle there, a circle widget. Okay, so this is done, and we can now proceed. I'm just gonna change this to 30 because I think it was too dark, and we're done. And yes, we now need more elements. For example, the walking man, this image here. I'm gonna add an image, and let's go into the library. Facemaker has a lot of images we can use here on the stencils category. So let's scroll down, and there we go. We have this image. We have several for steps, but I'll go with this one. It's not the same, but it's similar. Okay, so first I'm going to crop the content to to optimize the image, and then I'll resize it. And now I am going to disable the aspect ratio, and I will increase it just the width right here, so it matches the width of the image below. Okay, so this is done, and we here on the steps container we can finally add the steps, the number of steps. So right now I'm going to add an image combo, select steps for the data type, and press generate. So you can see that Facemaker creates the images, the necessary images for you, and I can tell straight away that this is Bebesnoia, I think that it's called. So yeah, it's this one. Let's increase the size and try to match the best we can the size and all that, and the color. So we need it to be smaller, and this should work. And now let's pick these colors here, or rather this single color, add it to the favorites, and we're done. We just need to do one thing, which is align it to the center right there. And now we can simply place it and show all the background images, perhaps lock it and press preview. Oh, I forgot to change the last number. So let me show you something. When you press generate, usually you have two colors here. One is the color for all the images, and the last one can be a different color, which is this one, the selected color or secondary color. This is useful for weeks of the day, for example, if you want to have Sunday being a different color. And yeah, this was the explanation, but if you press generate again, it will use the primary color here, and now everything is okay. Okay, so all the numbers are the same color, and we can proceed. Okay, steps is done, and I think I'll have the date up here. So let's show the reference image, and there we go. And the date can go in two places. We can add it on the widget here. So if I had a container and set the data type to date, there we go. Then we can add everything we need here on the widget. But I usually prefer to put it on the date main container. So yeah, let's do this. Here I'm going to add an image, or rather an image set, and I'll set the data type to weekday and press generate. So this is the weekday, and we're going to use that orange color right there. And okay, let's set the width and height. And it doesn't have to match exactly what we have in the reference. As long as it works and it looks good, you can use it. So there we go, we have the weekday, and now we need an image combo for the month day. And there we go, we press generate, and now we need to check the reference right here. And I'm going to pick that color, or perhaps just use the same we used for these numbers here for the steps. So I'm going to select it. And now we need to set the font size right there and align it to the center, and then push it down. And I'm going to enable the guidelines so we can see if this is really centered. And it is, okay? Both the month day as well as the weekday. So just a little tweak here and there. Let's bring back all the images from the background and lock these, and voila, we have a good result, I think. If I press preview and disable the guidelines, this is what we have, okay? So we can now proceed, and it's almost time to build the time hands, these. But first I will tackle these circles here. They're very easy. So here on the background, I'm gonna add an image as usual, and I'll place it up here, somewhere in here, and press generate. And this time we're going to use the circle. There we go. And I'll make it black right there, and increase the line width. Let's go with perhaps 18. Should do the trick. And now let's increase the radius. I'll go all the way up to 223. We will center it. Oh, we have a limitation here. So the Facemaker is right now trying to keep all the widgets inside the screen, which is good practice. But in some cases, you will need to, push widgets outside the screen. And for that, you can easily set this option here, change to interface, and set the contain widgets to off, and submit. And now we can easily just move it wherever we want. Now this is centered right now, and I think this will work, but I will perhaps go with a little bit with a larger circle right there. And now we need to set the start and hand angles. So right now I am going to set the start angle right there, and set the start to round. There we go, the tips, I mean. Let's start on 15 and then go all the way to 45. And yes, this is the circle we'll use. And right now we have this single image, and we need it to be replicated onto the other circles or semicircles. So right now I'm going to do the following. I'm going to name this circle, and I'm going to clone it right there, lock it and hide it. We don't need it for now. And let's go back into this one. So first I need to copy it onto the other side. And the best way to do it is first apply a flip horizontal. There we go. Now it's on the other side. And let me just show you what I'm doing here. So yeah, let's hide it. So we flipped it onto the other side. And now if I apply a mirror and enable both the horizontal and vertical, and there we go. We have it mirrored around the watch face, and this will work perfectly. And this is the placeholder for the lines or circles for all the data types we will be adding later. So these here, the UV index, calories, heart rate, and battery. So let's take care of that now. Right now, here on the widget, and remember, anytime you need to add data, you should use the widget main container. So here I am going to add a container. So let's start with the UV index. And there we go. Let's set the location of the container. because remember, these containers also work as shortcuts. So if you set them right, when you click them, the watch will open the app associated with this data type. In this case, UV index. Okay, so this is done, and now we can add, let me see here, a circle. There we go. Now here I will set to UV index, and for the circle itself, I will copy this image here, this cloned image I saved earlier. So here, Control C, and here, Control V. There we go. Now we need to set it on the same spot. So let me see here. This is -29.7. Let's go in here, -29.7. And we need to set the right radius. So let me see here. Let's go with I believe 16 was the right number. And now we need to switch it. So right now, this is on the left side, and we need it to be on the right side. So let's take care of that now. Or rather, right now it's on the right side, and it needs to be on the left side. And the best way to do it is a flip horizontal. And there we go. Now it's on this side, on the right side, or rather on the left side. And now we need to give it the right color, which is this orange color. So fill color, select that orange color, and there we go. And now the start and end angle. So it has to start here and end here. And for that, I am going to apply these effects. There we go. And here I am going to set the start angle to, let's say, this is 270, this is 300. So I would say 310. So 310. It has to be more, right there, or perhaps, no, it's 313, okay. And now the end angle. And there we go. And now let's turn off this visual aid right here, and let's press preview. Oh, we need the background. Okay. So we might need to do some tweaks. For example, the start angle, and increase the line width. And there we go. It's 18. And I think the final angle or the end angle needs some tweaking too. And it needs. So let's go with 348. And there we go. I think we have a good result, and this will work perfectly. So we can stop the preview now, and let's add the other data types. So I believe the one on the top right is calories. Okay, so let's add a container, set it to calories, and there we go. And now let's set the container location, something like this, and lock the container. And now we can add the circle. And I believe I will change something concerning this watch face. So you'll notice that on the original watch face, the circles were all growing from the left to the right. I will make it so that they, on this side here, they grow to the right, and on this one, they grow to the left. So let's do that. Okay. Now we can copy the location of this one, so -27, or rather -29 and 7. So -29 and 7. There we go. And now we will simply copy this image. Control C, and here. Oh, by the way, you should select the data type first. So calories, and now Control V, and we copy the image. If I remember correctly, it was 16, the line width. And now we need to apply a flip horizontal effect, because we had done it to invert it for this one here, and now we need to do the same for this one here. So this is now inverted and on the right side, and we only need now is to set the start and end angle. So let's increase the start angle, and it has to be 12, and here I will insert 60 manually and then just fine tweak until we have the right value, and there we go. Now we can turn off the visual aid, we don't need it anymore, and we can also show all the elements on the background and press preview. And now you'll notice that this is not correct, we need more, so 18 for the width, and there we go, and it's 18 not 16. And we now need to make it grow onto the left, and for that we just need to invert these two values, so 48 on the start angle and 12 on the end angle. So let's do that, 48 and 12, and now you can see that they're all growing, or rather this one is growing to the left while this one is growing to the right. And now this is done, we can continue and take care of the rest. So here on the reference we have the battery, so let's add it. So again, here we'll add a new container, set the data type to battery, and let's set the container location like that and like that. Just lock the container and add a circle widget. So if I remember correctly, it was -29 and 7, and let's set the data type to battery, and let's just simply copy this one here, the UV index one. So let's copy the image, Control C, and here Control V, set the line width to 18, and there we go. And now we need to invert it, because right now the orange part is on the top while it should be down here. Okay, so for that, as we did before, we apply a mirror effect and press vertical, and there we go, it's down here now. Okay, so this should grow from the left to the right. So let's apply this effect and then set the start and end angles. For now I will go with 180 right there, and then set this one too right there. And let's bring back the reference image, we need it more, so 228 192, 228 192, there we go. Now this should grow from here to here. Let's press preview, and there we go, perfect. Okay, I applied a mirror, but it should be, I'm so sorry, this should have been flip vertical, but this works just the same. We don't need to change it at all, so I'll leave it as is. Or we can simply edit image and just increase the brush radius and delete that and apply. Okay, so this is done. We can now finish this and go and add the heart rate, this one here. So another container, select heart rate and resize the container, set it correctly. So let me see here, something like that should do the trick, and indeed I think it does. So let's lock it, add the final circle, and there we go. So -29, 7, set the data type to heart rate, and let's copy, I don't know, this one perhaps, and yes, we'll use this one. So Control C here, Control V, set the line width to 18. And now we need to mirror it onto the other side, or flip it horizontally. So here on the effect, flip horizontal, and it's on the other side. And finally, all we need to do is set the start and end angles. It should start here and end here. Okay, so let's do that. 120, and then just tweak it. And finally, and then tweak it. There we go. Now we can turn off the visual aid as before and just press preview. And there we go. We have a very, very nice result, I would say. So, okay, this is almost done. We now need those labels. This. Otherwise, we don't know what it does, you know, what this data is about. So I'm going to stop the preview, and this is very easy to add. I am just going to add a artistic text, this one here, and just insert UVI. You can't see it because it's, oh dear, I moved the wrong. Yeah, that's correct. So you should always lock the layers, otherwise this will happen a lot. So this is unlocked, and now we can, oh, we have another one that is unlocked. Let me check all the others. Oh, rather, I'm just gonna lock them all and then unlock this artistic text. Yeah, this one here, and there we go. We have the UVI there, and I'm gonna change this font for something. No, it's not this one. And I think this one will work. Okay, so let's make it smaller. Right there. And now we can do it in two ways. So we could just simply come in here and just rotate it. Or you can use the circular text like this. So you can see there what it's doing. Right now it's inverted. Let's just not have it inverted. And let me see here, perhaps we go all the way to -29.7, which is the location of all those circle widgets. Now it should be easier for you to just set this, you know, to rotated text. But I just want to show you the solution here. Now let's increase this until we have something like this. Sorry. And this needs to be smaller, something like that. And now let's center it and just set the rotation angle to something like 300, and it's almost there. Yeah, but this needs to be larger, and the problem is we have to set it manually. So 420, and now just center it, and there we go. And it's not quite there yet. Let's go with 430. And of course, you will have to tweak this until you get a perfect result. And I believe we now have it. So yeah, this will work perfectly. So now we just clone this one, and this was cal for calories, uppercase, of course. So cal. And now let's go with 20. It should be more, of course, something like that. And now we clone it again, and this one will be age RT, which should stand for heart rate. And now you'll notice that this is inverted. And yeah, this won't work, so we need to now press this button here, inward. And the letters will face inward. But here we now need to, do some tweaking. And there we go. And finally, we clone this one and change it to bat for battery. And we can now just rotate it or set the start angle right there and just tweak it a little bit, something like that and like that. And now let's lock everything and press preview, and there we go. I think we have a very good result. Now let's take care of the hands. Okay, the time hands will take some work. Yes, they're not as easy as you would think, but I think we can create something very similar to this. And usually to match the hands, I just select the reference image and then I rotate it right there until we have the hand we need in the vertical position. Now I'll just hide all these widgets here and the date, just so they don't get in the way. And I will enable the guidelines by pressing Ctrl G. And there we go. Now we can simply try and center this the best we can. This is just a reference. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? So now I'm going to add an image, press generate, and now I will unlock the aspect ratio, and we'll just resize this. And you should always strive to have an odd number. So right now this is 9, which is good. I will make it 11 instead. So yes, or perhaps even 13. And yeah, it's 13. Okay. Now let's go with this number, and I might go with a slightly larger or taller image. Something like this, okay? So this is done. I'm going to apply the resize, and then I will apply a rounded corners effect. There we go. And I'll go all the way to 100. On all corners, okay? Now we have something that is, rounded on the tips, okay? So right now this is done. We just need to add a border effect. And we need to set it to white. There we go. And perhaps go with 2 pixels. And yes, this should work. Okay, now this upper part is done, and now I will add another image. And here, let me see. No, we might get away with something that is much more easy. So I'm going to add the time main container here, and then I will add a raw tree. And here we can set it to hours 12 and press generate. So this is a simple generator for hands Facemaker has, and yes, it will allow you to create a simple hand, which is actually what we need now. I will set this circle around here and make it much smaller, like this and like this, and this should be smaller too, so I will make it much smaller, something like that, and try to go with an odd number here. So this is 13, I believe, and yes, this is 13 width. Okay, so the hours is done. Now let's add the minutes. So minutes, and then we can simply copy this image here, Control C, and then on the minutes, Control V. And we can place it in the exact same spot, right there. And we can set the pivot to the same spot too. So 771. 771. There we go. Now we have the hours and minutes. And now we need to add the seconds. So this hand here. I am going to rotate again. So let's go all the way to 150. And it's less, of course. And this will be just a reference, of course, just like before. And here I am going to add a rotary. Set it to, let's go with sweep seconds this time. And press generate. And of course it was 3 width right there, and we need to set it with that orange color, but this time we will make it more vibrant. Okay, so it stands out, or rather we can just pick this color here, and there we go. Add it to the favorites, and this is done. We can now add the circle down here, and this has to be much smaller, but I will go with the 15 this time. There we go. And now we place it right there. And it needs to be taller, of course. So what we're gonna do here is just place it right there, and then increase the height. And then push the center of the hand downwards. Right there. Okay, so we have the hand finished for the seconds. Just need to make it the right length. So something like that. And the sweep seconds, we can now hide it and bring back the minutes and hours. They're these two here. We have this element that we will be merging with this hand, but we need it for the minutes too. So let's take care of it now. Let's bring back the reference and let's rotate it back. Oh, this is the hours. And there we go. Now we need to create an image, a similar image to this one for the minutes. So, okay, let's add an image here, press generate, and place it up there. Something like this. And if I remember correctly, it was 11 or 13. 13, yeah. Okay, now the height. And yeah. Perfect. Okay, this is done. And just like before, I'm going to add the rounded corners. Push all the values to 100. Like this. And finally add the border effect with a whitish color and mode 2 and 2 pixels wide. And there we go. Now this should be done now. We can simply apply all these effects on both of them. Not necessary, because we will be merging them with these hands here. So for that, I am just going to select these two by pressing Shift and clicking on the widgets, pressing Ctrl X, and here I select the time main container and then press Ctrl V. And there we go, we just move them to the time main container. So this one is the hours and this the minutes. Now I'm gonna push it down here, and I need to merge these two. So for that, you just need to press this button here, merge down and add. And there we go. We have the hands finished. And the same goes for the minutes. So here we press merge down and add. And all done, I think. So I'm going to reset the rotation for the reference image, bring everything back. So you can just unhide everything. and then I'll hide the guidelines and press preview. Oh, I may have forgotten to set the, yeah, I'm so sorry. When I merged the hands, the pivots were reset. So yeah, we need to set them now. No problem. I have an easy fix for this. So with the hours hand selected, I will simply crop the canvas, okay, and then set this to the exact center of the watch face. So 204 by 240. And there we go. And then I will simply select crop the content. And there we go. Facemaker will crop it back and keep the pivot on the center. And this is a nice trick you can use to set your time hands pivot. So here, crop the canvas, 204 by 240, and then crop the content. And it should all just be correct now. Let's press preview. And there we go. I like it. We still need to do a little fix here on the seconds hand. So it needs to have a black circle inside, I think. Now let me see here. And indeed it does. So this you see here. So I am going to add an image, press generate, make it a circle, and then I'll resize it manually, something like this. And let's bring back everything. There we go. And zoom in. And yes. And now we can merge it. So add. And we'll just make sure that the pivot is correct, and it seems to be, I would say. So let's press preview. And there we go. We have the normal watch face created and finished. How about that? Okay, so we have this. This is done, and we now need to create the always on display. And for that, we just need to have this main container here, always on display, and had a background main container. And as far as I recall, the always on display is the same image, but a simpler one with a single color, that orange, that dark orange. I don't have the reference image here, but we can create it easily. So let's start copying some of the elements. I'll start with this one here. The, I believe, yeah, it's this and this. So Control C and copy them into here. And I will merge them. So add. They are merged, but you can see the numbers because they're black. We'll be addressing that in just a second. So yeah, it's this. We also need these two. So Control C, and this will be different because we need to remove this black image from this orange image. So for that, I am going to simply subtract. And now we have a circle, okay? So let's continue. Oh, this is needed too, I guess. Okay, let's copy this one onto here. And what else? Well, okay. This one, and perhaps this one. So let's copy all these two, and there we go. And don't mind the you know, the effects and the opacity thing. I am just copying the necessary images to have a simple representation of the main watch face onto the always on display. So let's continue. I'm not sure if I copied. No, I didn't. Okay, so we now need this. I'm not sure. Oh, we can delete this one. Okay. Okay, so I think we can grab all these. Control C and here Control V, and there we go. They're all here, and now all I need to do is merge them. Like this, until we have them all merged and done. And now to make it work, we just need to apply a fill color. There we go. Now we have exactly what we needed, but we still need a darker version of that, or rather, let me see here. This will be the always on display, and only in the end, only the hands will be moving. Okay, so I'm going to add an opacity effect. There we go. Make it darker. And that's it. Okay, and finally, to finish this, we'll just add a time main container on the AOD and just copy those two. So this and this, because you can't have the second hand on the always on display. Oh, and we need that hole, that black hole here. So I'm gonna add a simple image and press generate, make it a circle. There we go. And now we simply resize it, make it very, very small, and try to fit it here. And yeah, I think this will work. So, okay, now we need to change this, or rather, let me see here. I don't think I can. Oh, yeah. Okay, we have a small problem because now I need to change the color, the white color, into this. The problem is if I apply a colorize, for example, and set it to that orange color. I'm gonna try it real quick here. And we need to see the minutes, sorry. Yeah, the problem is it will affect the white as well as the black. And we really can't have this. So let me see how we can do this. You know what? I am going to do it anyway. So I'm going to apply this and then apply it to that hour's hand too. So last colorize. And now I will add another image. And if I recall correctly, it was 13. Oh, no, 13 sides. Sorry, 13 width. And there we go. And now we will tweak the size. Something like this. Push it down. And push this up. And then apply a rounded corners. So we're basically just hiding all the parts that we made that were orange. Now I'm gonna lock it because I need to see exactly what we have here. And this needs to be pushed upwards and this one downwards. And there we go. Now I am going to, before I merge it with the hand, I am going to clone it. And this one I'll push it down. So, or rather not, we can just create it. Yeah, I'm gonna add an image, generate, it's faster, 13, and just hide these two. So this and this, I'll just place it here, set the height. There we go. Now let's add the rounded. And yeah, I think we have a good result. So yes, I think this is perfect. So I am going to simply add and add. There we go. Now we can bring all these back, and I'm not sure the pivot is correct, but I think it is. Let's press preview. And yes, this is perfect. So there we go. We have a finished watch face. I'm going to press Ctrl S and perhaps change this so you can have a preview of the other looks you have available for the Fit 3 in Facemaker. So yeah, this was a watch face for the Huawei Watch Fit 3, made in under an hour. Oh, by the way, you should always try to merge all the images in the end, because while the watch may process this no problem, it will spend more battery. And if you have one single image that you can merge and make your watch's life easier, I'm going to delete the reference image here, and then I will crop the canvas, and yes, optimized image, and here on the background, crop the canvas too, and there we go. We have a finished watch face, and this will work perfectly on the watch. So yeah, this was a watch face for the Huawei Watch Fit 3. I hope you liked it, and I also hope to see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!